Last week we were chasing ghouls and goblins in the cemeteries on the ghost tour in Savannah, Georgia. This week we're heading back down south to Pasco County, Florida, to the Pioneer Museum, a neat organization that rebuilt old pioneer homes and tells us history of Florida from its inception to the Second World War. So now, off to the Pioneer Museum.
Hey, Kling Connection. Today we are in Pasco County, Florida at the Pioneer Museum and Colonial Village. We have never been here before. It's only about maybe a little bit longer, a little ways from our house, but we thought it was a great afternoon to come visit. It's been pretty chilly here in Florida, so today it's about 60 degrees, so it was nice to be outside, and we thought we'd come here and walk around a little bit. Apparently there's like a little village area we can go and visit some old colonial type buildings and learn a little bit about the pioneer era of Florida and the settlements that started here. So we're gonna take a little visit around the area and check out what we can see and find out, and we will check you out along the way. There's some old relics on the back side over here. So the Trilby Depot was the third largest train depot in Florida at one point, says the pamphlet. So there was at one point a large number of trains coming through this station. You can see here some of the steam engines. That came through this area. They're pretty large. So here is the steam engine at the Trilby Depot, and the logs on the back of the engine are the original from when the steam engine stopped operating. And there's a plaque on the back, and they're called the red tidewater cypress trees, estimated at 524 years old. So it does say not to touch. I'm not going to touch, but I'm just going to come closer. So you can imagine I'm 5'2". Okay. They're quite massive trees, and they are, humongous. Wow.
My mom always wanted me to be an engineer. Go to school, she said, but I don't think she meant this. Although the pension plan's pretty good. They don't pay Social Security. Founded in 1960 by Rudolph Rode and his sister, Miss Annie Rode, the museum's picturesque site is located just north of downtown Dade City in Pasco County, Florida.
Hey, so we're here with John, and John's here enjoying the Pioneer Museum as well. So welcome, John. How are you today?
Doing well.
Good. So what brings you here? Just enjoying the time?
We were down in Dade City. It was so crowded. There's a kumquat festival over there.
Oh, gosh,
So
yes.
we decided to just take a drive out and see the museum. We've been here many times over the years.
Okay.
Really great museum that they've got here. Pioneer Museum in Dade City, just north of the city.
Yeah, great. So, and where are you actually from?
I live in Tampa, based out of Tampa. I do a lot of gardening videos and abandoned building videos on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Florida Snowman.
Florida Snowman. So if you get a chance to check it out, Florida Snowman is John's YouTube channel and ours, Kling Connection, obviously. So it was nice talking to you, John. I'm glad you're enjoying the Pioneer Museum as much as we are.
Well, I'm glad to see you here.
Yeah.
What a coincidence running across another YouTuber.
I know, exactly. It's
out on the
fun.
prowl.
We're a lot out here, and we're so excited we met you too. So good.
Good times.
Good. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Take
Okay,
care.
you too. Thank you so much.
See you on the internet.
The museum is an open-air model museum in Dade City. The museum complex includes Overstreet House, a one-room schoolhouse, a church, a train depot, a train engine, museum exhibits and tools, and a whole lot more.
So this is the barn that's on the property, and according to the information given, that this would be a collection area for local antiques. So families in the area, if they had an old heirloom, things from their families, would bring it here, and it would be a collection area that they would keep things safe. So this local collection area would be like an antique farm barn. They would keep things here. This is a picture here of an outdoor kitchen. So you can see how they have the chimney here on the left-hand side, and then set up for grilling and baking, you know, their meats or heating up their water and everything. And the thatched roof. So I just find the old pictures, you know, so fascinating. You can see a real, you know, snapshot of time and how families lived. And so there's quite a myriad of items in this barn that we're talking about, this antique barn. You can see this, this contraption is a conveyor that continues on this whole length of the barn, all the way over to this side. And the oranges and apples and whatever other fruits they were picking come down here and then come into the other side. So they really were saving all the equipment that they were using along the way, and kept it all here in the barn. Okay, friends, so this is something I've never seen before. This is called a cane mill. So cane is what they use to make syrup. They take the sugar from the cane, you know, sugar cane, and they make it into syrup. So this is how they use it. They have to heat it up, and they put the cane in, and they have a mule or a donkey, and they use the donkey. I'm not sure exactly how. I have to read a little bit more here. Mule-driven cane mill. So I'm not sure exactly how the mule is used. It might be from here, the outside, and they use the mule to go back and forth to actually press the cane out and get the sugar. But it needs to be heated, and you can see all of the wood here that's used to heat up the cane. So this is definitely something that I've never learned about before, and something I'm learning here today.
The museum has a really cool visitors center where it spans the history of Florida. As you know, I'm big into military history, and the displays on the Second World War, the First World War, and the Civil War are amazing. But one of the areas you really need to check out is where the Seminole Indian Wars were fought. There's a bunch of accoutrements, old cannonballs, and reproduction uniforms to display to the public what the soldiers and Native Americans looked like during this time frame.
So when I was on the website for this Pioneer Museum and Village, I did notice that they have a calendar for special events. And if you would like to know more about their events coming up through the spring and the summer, you can go onto their website and check out their events calendar and see what they have coming up. It looks like they have a day where they bring in some cowboys and they do like a cowboy rodeo. And I think they have a spring wine and cheese event where it's more like adult related type of events and stuff. So go onto their website and check out all types of things they have going on. So definitely a good place to get the information you need. So this is a Civil War era built home. It's actually the oldest wood structured home in Pasco County, still standing. So we're gonna go in and check it out.
A lot of times in these small southern towns in the 18th and 19th century, and even the early 20th century, the main staple was the church. And it was a gathering place, not only for religious ceremonies, but for community events and all sorts of different things, from birthdays to anniversaries to dances. And in the South, being a Baptist area in the country, churches are prevalent all over the place. And this model here is ranging from about the Civil War period to maybe just a little bit after. The pews are in immaculate condition. There's 2 organs in here, and they have the pulpit.
Attention, attention. Students. Just kidding. This is Schoolhouse here at the Pioneer Museum and Village. So you can see the old desks, and here at the front of the room where the teacher would have sat. And the room is quite small, but I guess the students here would have learned from the teacher, and all the students would have been in one classroom. So this is what it would have looked like.
One could only imagine what it must have been like to live in this area in the 1860s or 1870s. Heck, they didn't even have air conditioning. But then again, if they didn't know it existed, they weren't missing it. But everything here is meticulously restored, and it is really cool to see, especially a great place for the kids to come out and check history.
This is called a linotype. It's actually a newspaper printing machine. So you can see the typewriter here. So someone would be sitting and typing, and this make the newspaper.
In and around this old restored farmhouse from the Civil War is a bunch of furniture and all sorts of living stuff. It's kind of cool to think that people actually lived here. Although the house itself is very cramped compared to today's homes, I could see it being a nice and cozy place. Obviously, through the years, they've had to restore a bunch of the woodwork because Florida plays heck on anything that's wooden. While wandering around the museum, we saw all sorts of hand tools and artisan equipment, from blacksmiths to carpenters, that were used throughout the history of Florida. Some of them were pretty amazing, and some of them we were pretty familiar with because they still use them in modern days. That about wraps up our little jaunt around the Pioneer Museum in Pasco County, Florida. Saw some great exhibits, saw a lot of old agricultural stuff, history stuff, military stuff, anything from old cars to furniture. It really is worth the trip, and if you get a chance, they do have a discount for people that are seniors or students in school or veterans, or even if you're in the military or under 5, you can get them for free. The admission for regular adults is $12, which really isn't too bad. Like Shana said earlier in the video, they do a lot of neat little events here, everything from fundraisers to birthday parties and you name it. But it really is just worth a nice little jaunt drive. You can spend about 2 or 3 hours here and just really have a good time. If you like what you saw, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so you never miss another Kling Connection episode. And check us out at www.klingconnection.com. Follow us on Instagram, Rumble, and Facebook, and learn about all our adventures and the trips and tips that we can give you.